Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone. Hey, come here. Come say it. Come say it. Come say it. What are we going to say?
Hi, that show.
Oh, good job. What do we say?
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday listen about
Say it. Say your words.
listen about book. The bat roots open. Let
Use your words.
there is construction and roofing.
Yay! Good job.
Go
this way. You want to stay?
Yeah.
Or you want to go?
Go.
Okay. I don't know if y'all can see his butt. It says like danger, explosion area or something. There's a little jammies always has something on the butt. Go this way. Blasting area. Keep clear is what it says. All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Batter's Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedic, go to Brock. You need a roof, you call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Tell you all the time, of course, if you have heard people talk about semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss. They have the lowest prices, never any contracts, and you can do the whole thing over telemed, so you don't have to go into the office, and they'll ship anywhere in the country. So that's fantastic as well. Makes it super convenient. So get to uniquephysique.com. Okay, how about y'all? LSU snaps their 3-game losing streak. Thank God. Desperately needed a win. Got it. Started about as poorly as you can imagine. Not only did the Tigers go 3 and out, but literally on the opening kickoff, Xavier Thomas got hit and fumbled. The ball popped up in the air. Thankfully, Juwan Johnson was there to grab it. You had a 3rd and 3. Your center, DJ Chester, false start. So it's 3rd and 8. You're short. So you go 3 and out and punt. On their first play, 63-yard touchdown. I mean, I'm not sure it couldn't have been going any better. And then on the ensuing kickoff, if you remember, because you had a face mask penalty on Gio Paez, they got the kickoff from midfield. They squibbed it. And so they were able to knock you down the 10-yard line. That was Trey'Dez Green got knocked into Josh Williams. So, I mean, it was about as bad as you could have imagined at that point. Go this way. But Tigers got it together. And in large part due to Josh Williams' efforts, about 150 yards of offense and scrimmage yards. He had 61 receiving, about 150 or maybe 151 rushing, 61 receiving, something like that. I'm not looking at the box score, but 20-yard touchdown run, later at a 21-yard touchdown run, put up LSU 14-7 at halftime. Great job stopping Vanderbilt before the half. They had 51 seconds on a timeout, try to go get a field goal, and you bowed your neck and played well. You held them to a field goal to start the second half. You got a touchdown. That was Kyron Lacey's touchdown to go up 21-10. And you'd add a field goal. You stalled out in the red zone again, but you scored a touchdown. Lacey dropped the touchdown. Aaron Anderson caught one that he bobbled. They reviewed, took it off. He kicked the field goal. But on that play, on that drive, remember there was a 4th and never give me his 3rd and 9 where Chris Hilton got the big conversion there. The 4th down conversion was on the 4th and 5 conversion to CJ Daniels. Where is it? It was on that drive. Where was the 4th and 5? I was looking for the 4th and 5 to CJ Daniels. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Bottom line is, it's somewhere in my notes. I can't find 3rd and 4. Anyway, whatever. Point is, you got some really nice performances. You controlled the game. Even when it got a little tense at the end, when they scored, you got the ball with 5:47 to go, and you're thinking, man, you stall out here. Diego Pavia could go tie it or win it. Go this way. And your offense got the ball back and chewed up the final 5:47. I mean, that was incredible to see. I mean, Vanderbilt never got the ball back. So, great win. from that context. And then what did they? Guessing you all saw what happened throughout the league. Ole Miss lost at Florida, so they're out of the playoffs. Such a shame. Texas A&M lost in overtime to Auburn, so that's their third loss. They're out. Such a shame. And did anybody happen to see what happened in Norman, Oklahoma last night? Oh, what a crying shame that Kalen DeBose went on the road with his SEC and playoff hopes on the line and lost to a 5-5 football team. And not only did you lose, you lost by 3 touchdowns on a day where Alabama and Kalen DeBoer, this great offensive genius, right, didn't even get in the end zone. Jalen Milroe, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, including a pick 6. You lost by 3 touchdowns to a team that threw for 68 yards in the game. I'm sure that's going over great with the fine people of the state of Alabama today. I'm wondering how many of you goons have the guts to show up in the mentions today with your Bama is burning or your LSU is burning crap. I wonder how many of you have the guts to show up today. My guess is it's going to be a little quiet today, my guess. But this is why you play the long game. And this is why when you're convicted about something, you stick to it. Because I have said for every single time I've done Bama is burning. I'm not saying they're going to be terrible. I'm saying they're not going to be invincible anymore. They're going to lose games like the rest of us all lose. And my prediction, my bold prediction at SEC Media Days this year was Bama would lose 3 games in the regular season. And here we are. Burn. After Dad's show, go to church. And then after church, we'll go to the mall. Okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's say some good mornings. YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Hey, Brendan, good morning. Indeed, Bama is burning. It never stopped burning. Just because you beat a Missouri team with a backup quarterback, a bad LSU team who couldn't tackle Jalen Milroe, and Mercer didn't mean the sins of your past were gone. This is a season where Alabama has lost 3 games in the regular season now for the first time since 2010. They lost to Vanderbilt for the first time ever. I don't know. Lost to Tennessee for the second time now in 3 years, and lost at Oklahoma to a 5-5 Oklahoma team. Bang up job, Kalen. Bang up. I'm sure you're meeting everybody's expectations there in Tuscaloosa. No playoff, and first year of a 12-team playoff, and Bama's not there. Stunning. Oh, who could have possibly imagined that? Thomas, what's going on? Jinglegate Day 0. I forgot yesterday. Sorry, man. You got to remind me later. I always do when I get up to go turn off Drew's sound machine. Toki Doki, guess yesterday was okay. Donovan, Mad Rummer, what's up, man? Thomas, good morning. Good morning. Bro, fall back from the Bama stuff. The team. Brennan, Jacob, good meeting you last night, man. Jacob Thompson was at Don Juan. So good to finally meet you. One of the great parts about getting to do whiskey and wine and scone and tea and stuff is so many of our regulars here and on Scone and Tea and everywhere. We get to meet people and say hello and put a face to a name and shake hands. So Jacob had a 929 Misfits shirt on. The STT shirt. I wouldn't say it here on Morning Scone, but very cool. Good to meet you, man. Hey, Angela, good morning. Jacob Knight, we're so back. Caleb, Joey B, indeed. Nathan, yes, sir. Bama is burning. I can't remember if you're the one that's the Bama fan. Go this way. I think you might be the Bama fan. And if you did show up today, then good on you. But yeah, brother, it is. It's everything that I've said that has come to fruition. Everything. Literally every prediction I made has come to fruition. Dalton, good morning. Thank you for a victory. Needed it, man. Sick of waking up on Sundays without him. Hey, Tom, good morning. Good night in Tiger Stadium. Yeah, man, it looked like it was a beautiful night. Crowd was great. The onset obviously thinned out in the second half. Looked like LSU was in control, but yeah, man, good night in Tiger Stadium. Tigers get a win, a conference win. Got a chance to go 8-4 next week. Be curious to see what Oklahoma looks like coming in. Oklahoma's defense all year has been very good. Their offense is what struggled. That was the case again last night. They won that game with defense. Yay! I say that. They won the game with defense and running the football. Yay! It was incredible. They ran for over 200 yards in the first half against Alabama. And it should have been worse. I mean, Oklahoma had a play, if you didn't see it. They're at the Alabama 10, 13, somewhere around there. And they run a double pass, and the kid is wide open in the end zone. And the back that threw it led him a little too much toward the sideline, went off his hands, just dropped it. I mean, it was a tougher catch than it needed to be, but still a catch he should have made for a touchdown. And then they missed like the 33-yard field goal. Like, it should have been worse than it was. Dangerous Opinions, what's going on? Good morning. Bubba Smith, good morning. Patrick, good morning. Bama's burning. Holy cow, 24-3. That's awesome. Boot up. Great win for LSU and BK. Yeah, man. Basketball plays today at 2:00 against Central Florida up in the Greenbrier. Hope the Tigers get back to their winning ways. Jesse watched Locked on Bama this morning. Words like rebuild and dynasty were used. Dynasty overused a lot. I love it. Best part of my morning watching them burn. Spurge. Taz, I read a report last night that Tom Brady had a big part in Bryce Underwood flipping to Michigan. So what I read was that he reached out and said he'd be a resource to Bryce. But again, like, let's be very real. LSU could have had Joe Burrow reach out. Like, that's not what did this. What did this was $12 million. Go this way. And from my perspective, I don't know any other way to say this. I've said it enough. I've done enough shows on it. And it's what it is. Number one, I'm glad he's not going to an SEC school, because it would stink mightily if you had lost his commitment to an SEC school and then you had to face him. We say that all the time. Now he's going to be in Michigan. You'll probably never see him. Okay. Hope he does great and whatever. The Brady piece or whatever, like, everybody has great alums that they could use to call it or whatever. If Tom Brady had called Bryce Underwood and LSU was the one offering $12 million, Tom Brady would not have been able to dissuade or persuade Bryce Underwood. Ryan, morning, Matt. Loved watching Bama get pummeled yesterday. Can't help being annoyed that LSU was the only team that couldn't stop Milroe. Georgia couldn't for a half anyway. But yeah, I mean, you watched how physical Oklahoma was at the point of attack. How disciplined they were, and it goes to illustrate the difference with what LSU is now and what you aspire to be and what you once were. And you need better players, and you'll get there. But the other thing too is Jalen Milroe next year is likely going to be in the NFL. So Ty Simpson, I mean, I don't know what their quarterback will be next year. Go play the freshman, the kid from that flip from SMU that everybody's gaga over, got the Bama bump. Bama fans love telling me, because I laughed at him when they flipped a quarterback from SMU and the kids kept climbing the rankings. I'm like, oh, no kidding. He got a Bama bump. Shocker that a quarterback flips from SMU to Bama and now all of a sudden he's a 5-star. Stunning that happened, I tell you. Because who could ever fathom that? Anyway, yeah, go start a freshman next year. See how that goes. Cortland, good morning. Ask the team that just beat you. Patrick, game day, go Tigers against UCF at the Greenbrier. Let's get a dub. Would love that. Roll Tide 99. Try to tell they didn't listen. They're stubborn. Bama is burning. Respect for the real ones. Go this way. Club, what's good, man? So I saw Club last night at Don Juan. Club and his lovely bride were there having a cocktail and hanging out for a bit. And Club requested the Go This Way t-shirt, putting Go This Way on a t-shirt. And then somebody else came up to me, Club, later in the night and said the same thing. So I'm like, we may have a little something here with the Go Disway shirts. The real ones on Morning Scone would know. Hey, Brad. Brad, good morning. Alex, good morning. ESPN gave you a great shout out this morning on an article about your Underwood breakdown. Who did? ESPN TV, ESPN Radio. Let me know who it was. I'm trying to think about what article breakdown I had on Underwood. Now I'm wondering, like, did I publish something I shouldn't have? Because I'm working on an article for LouisianaSports.net about how LSU moves forward. Alex, let me know who that was. I'm curious if it was radio or TV or what it was. Here's this. Yeah, I told you this was the loser, the Bama fan. LSU's a Western Wildfire. Hey, go back and watch any Bama is Burning Forever. It's never been about LSU, you loser. It's always been about anyone but you. I know what LSU is. LSU's a pro. I've said it a million times, but you're too lazy. You're too lazy to go look at the full segment. You just watch 60-second clips of it because you're too lazy, or maybe you can't read, or you can't comprehend what I'm saying. And clearly you struggle with punctuation. But I don't care. LSU is what it's going to be. I know what LSU is. LSU is an 8-9 win team pretty much every year. And about every half decade, they pop a big year and they win championships. And they've done that at a great clip for a quarter century. You all have lived a charmed existence for 17 years, and that is over. Right now, you're going to understand what it's like for the rest of everyone else. And if you hadn't been so cocky and so arrogant and so awful over the past 17 years, I wouldn't be rubbing your face in it. But I'm going to rub your face in that giant pile of dog poop every chance I get for eternity. And I'm going to laugh at you and point my finger at you every chance I get, regardless of what happens. Go this way, regardless of what happens at LSU or anywhere else, because it has always been about anyone but you. And now it's going to be another year you don't win a national championship. And you ain't winning one next year either, because you're going to have a freshman quarterback or whoever. And I'm going to laugh at you then. And every single year subsequently that you don't win it, I'm going to laugh in your face, regardless of what happens at LSU. LSU doesn't steal my joy from laughing and watching you lose. Maybe you'll get that. Maybe you won't. And it's hilarious, too, that all of you losers can't seem to understand that all you would have to do is stop paying attention to me and I'd stop. But all of you keep giving me all of your attention. You keep coming back here. You keep coming to AFR. You keep watching my videos. You keep getting in my Twitter mentions. Y'all can't quit me. It's hilarious. For all the championships, real and fake, that y'all have, y'all just can't quit little old me. And so I guess I'll just keep on rubbing your nose in the fact that you are done. Done. And you know it. That's the best part of it. When we're done the show, you're going to go on to your Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Sincerely, I hope you and your family have a wonderful day, whoever you are. But you're going to go about your day, and you're going to know that I'm right. You're going to know all along that I've been right. You lost to Vanderbilt. You lost to Tennessee. You got your behind kicked by Oklahoma. You're not going to the playoff. And you know going to the playoff isn't even remotely close in your future. And so I'm just going to keep laughing at you. Lovely. Scone, the kid next to me, got a little too lost in the sauce in Tiger Stadium. Got his mouth popped by his mom because he was singing neck with us. Whew. Yeah, my mom would probably have done the same to me. Not probably. My mom would have done the same thing to me. Let's see. Darren G. Morin, great job. Drew, early take on LSU Oklahoma game. Yeah, I'm terrified about Oklahoma's defensive front. Reminds me a lot of A&M's defensive front and Ole Miss's defensive front. So I think LSU is going to have to protect Garrett Nussmeier and make plays through the air. The thing that maybe gives you some comfort is Oklahoma's offense is not very good. They got going downhill, and their big effort yesterday was running the football with Jackson Arnold. And we know LSU struggle with running quarterbacks. The difference is Arnold isn't necessarily a dynamic runner. They just committed to it. And they were very physical at the point. They out-physicaled Alabama. They ran all over Alabama. Like they physically ran them over. There was nothing deceptive about it. It was like, here it comes. We're just going to run over you. And they did over and over and over again. Let's see. We saw a playoff contention. Yes. Thomas, tomorrow at 3 should be excellent. Looking forward to it. Hunter, good morning. Florida will be in the playoff next year. Maybe. I think it depends on a nice win for Florida yesterday. But I'll tell you this, Hunter, that's another one of those where I go, why do coaches hate points? Brian Kelly passing on the field goal. I hated that. 4th and 3. And some of you are like, no, you go for it every time. Please tell me how easy it's been for LSU to score points over the last month. Please tell me that. Right. So you drive the length of the field. You're sitting there at the 3-yard line. You're in a tie ball game. Take the lead. Take the lead in the ball game. Like, put yourself ahead in the ball game. If you do that, guess what? Don't let them score the rest of the game. You win. Like, take the lead. And look at what happened in that game that you just mentioned. Lane Kiffin, 3 possessions in the red zone, 3 times on 4th down, went for it, 3 times got stopped. Had they kicked field goals there, they would have kept Florida at arm's length all game. Instead, they ended up losing. I don't know why coaches hate points. Look at what Kansas did. Shout out Lance Leipold at Kansas, playing Colorado. First half, they had moved the ball at will. They bogged down. They ended up kicking, I think, 2 or 3 field goals in the first half. Lead could have been much more than it was, but because they took points, they kept Colorado at arm's length. So when they scored late, Colorado was constantly playing catch up instead of a 1-score game, a 2-score game. Take points. Tiger Diver, good morning. Alex DeVilliers, Saban tried to warn A&M, LOL. Rex, good morning. Stephen Mitchell, morning Scone fam, yourself and T changed my cheer SEC permanently. Thank you. I will never understand. My point is I will never understand cheering for your conference. Anyone in the league winning does not benefit LSU at all. If Bama or Ole Miss or A&M or Texas, they win, that does not benefit LSU. All that does is adds another bargaining chip for them when they go recruit. It adds more clout and cachet to them across the board. I do not. I don't want any of them to win ever. Randall, morning, Matt. Watching the OU Bama game, the question that I asked myself is how bad is the LSU defense? Bama couldn't move the ball against OU. Yeah. Brent Venables is a defensive-minded head coach who has built a very good defense. He got there in year 1 at Oklahoma. They were not very good. Last year, the defense was much better, and they had Dylan Gabriel. They won 10 games. This year, they started a freshman quarterback. The defense for Oklahoma has been good this year. They were really good on the road against Auburn. They were fantastic at home in a game against Tennessee. They just couldn't get their offense going. And they were great last night. Like, Oklahoma's defense, in particular their defensive front, is very good. Taz, any chance we could get Ohio State back up to come BK? We could get Ohio State back up to come BK to LSU? Ohio State. Are you making a Burrow reference? Like, is there an Ohio State backup that they could get to come to LSU? That'd be great. But what you want next year is for Nussmeier to come back and be great. Going undefeated in the SEC is going to be very, very rare in the future. Brian, good morning from Waterbury, Connecticut. Did see Anderson break them to Vanderbilt players' ankles? Yes, that was incredible. Not only Anderson, but Josh Williams did it as well on a 3rd down. He had it was a first down. It was an 18-yard reception. He caught it in the flat, made the first guy put his hand on his helmet, pushed him to the ground, got upfield for 18 yards. Great day by Josh Williams, man. Really good day. Can't wait for Monday at 3. Let's see. Bama was 1-3 on the road in the SEC. The one win was LSU because they let Milroe look like a 1970 wishbone quarterback. True. Rick, besides 2 plays, LSU stopped Vandy in its tracks. That has been, but in fairness, Rick, that's true. But you can't say besides the 2 plays because that's been LSU's bugaboo this year, has been big plays. Like, pretty consistently, LSU has played sound defense. What they haven't been able to avoid are the chunk plays. I mean, just think about the season. You go back to the 67-yard touchdown run against Nichols, the 75-yard run against South Carolina. They had like another 65-yard run against South Carolina. Milroe had a 72-yarder. That consistently has been your problem, has been allowing those big plays. You had a big 75-yard run at the end of the A&M game as well. Let's see, more, Matt. Do you think it's very possible this could be Kalen DeBoer's best roster he ever has at Alabama? Yes, I do. I think I think when you look at, and I would have to look at what happens next year, but I think back to when LSU went through this transition with Nick as well, when Les came in. The 05, Nick won the championship in 03. You had 5 years of Nick Saban. He had built the roster, built the culture, all that stuff. He leaves, Les comes in. And you still had the remnants of that in a very loaded roster. Like, remember, 05, the only game you lost in the regular season was the overtime game to Tennessee on a Monday night. People forget that. Like, now you had some close calls in that season. John Vaughn at Auburn missed 5 field goals. You had the close call against Arizona State where Jamarcus hit early Doucette. I mean, you could have lost more. But you ended up going 11. Did they play 11 or 12 that year? I can't remember if they had switched to a 12-game regular season already. I guess they went 11-1 and then went to the SEC championship game, and they were out of gas. I mean, because remember, they didn't have an open date because of the hurricanes. Go this way. Anyway, point is, Les continued recruiting well, and you had some really good teams, and you had a team that went undefeated in 2011 that were all players that Les recruited. So I'm not saying Kalen won't be able to recruit well. I think he will. I mean, I think he'll recruit well, and like I've always said about Bama, the Bama is burning thing has never been, oh, they're going 6-6. It's 9-3s and 8-4s are going to look a lot more common for Alabama than, oh my God, I can't believe they lost and went 11-1. How you a Saints fan, also a Bama fan? Yeah, because the Saints have a great presence along the whole Gulf Coast. There's a lot of Saints fans in Mississippi and Alabama. Going to be a real accomplishment again to go undefeated in the SEC. It's true. Palermo, first time last night they contained a running quarterback. That's not true. Taylor Green at Arkansas. Rick, guess LSU's not Birmingham. I know this, Rick. I know LSU beat Vanderbilt. And Bama got dog walked by Vanderbilt. I know that much. Cody, do all these losses, I guess you mean losses, mean anything to us? Or are we still roasted for the season? Yeah, no, you're not going to the playoff if that's what you're asking. Like Cody, the most disappointing part of this is in a game last week against Florida where you possessed the ball for 42 minutes. You did everything right. You won everywhere on the stat sheet except the scoreboard. Go this way. If you had won that game, you would be in line now to go to Atlanta. All you would have to do is beat Oklahoma at home next week, and you'd be going to Atlanta. Had you taken care of business last week against Florida in a game where you controlled the whole game. So that is the massively disappointing part because you let that one get away, and everything that you needed to have happen has fallen in line. Georgia beat Tennessee. South Carolina beat Missouri last week. Bama's lost, so you're not even worried about the strength. Like there's nobody in a tie of 6-2 teams. The only team that could have challenged you is Bama. Now that they've lost, they're done. Like all you would have to do is beat Oklahoma, and you'd be in. And you would play either. I guess it depends what happens with Texas A&M, but you would play. If Texas won, you'd play Texas. If A&M won, you'd play Georgia. Drops by LSU wide receivers killing us. OL false starts. Rick, you had the false start from DJ Chester on the first possession, and then you did have another one. Emory had one. Emory had another one, didn't he? Go this way. It was on the. Go this way. There it was. It was on the 21-yard line. So 1st and 15, you got the 3rd and 9. That's where Chris Hilton converted to overcome that false start. But it was much better than it was last week for sure. Sean, good morning. Jordan, Solomon Thomas Tuesday. Fingers crossed. Solomon Thomas, a big offensive lineman, been committed to Florida State, visited Florida last week, visited LSU for the Vanderbilt weekend. See if you can flip him. That'd be a big one. That means a big 5-star interior offensive lineman. Be big to get him. Level up, man. Bama is burning. May still moonwalk in the playoff with 3 losses because Bama. No, that's not going to happen. We always talk about it. Path of least resistance for the committee. No, this always happens in November, and y'all, it's one of the reasons why I never watch the playoff ranking show and never talk about it. Like, I don't look at it. I don't know what the rankings are. I don't watch it because there's no other way for me to say this to you. That is a TV show. That's all it is. It's just, hey, can we build content to sell inventory? That's what that is. It means nothing because games are still going to be played and they're going to move the goalposts. They're going to do what they want and then explain it after. There's no precedent set by the rankings last week for this coming week. And so now you look at what's happened and the deck has been cleared. Ole Miss is out, Bama's out, Texas A&M is out. So it really narrows the focus. BYU, did BYU end up losing yesterday? I think they did. Arizona, of course, Arizona State won. So BYU lost. Go this way. So you're clearing the deck. And so Indiana was the big beneficiary yesterday because the question would have been a 1-loss Indiana or a 2-loss SEC. Well, now Ole Miss, A&M, Bama are all 3-loss SEC teams. So 1-loss Indiana, even though if any of the teams I just mentioned had played Indiana's schedule, they'd probably have the same record. And if Indiana had played their schedule, Indiana would be a 3, 4, 5-loss team. But it's what it is. The committee's just going to look at path of least resistance. And they're going to look at a team that has 1 loss against teams that have 3 losses, and they're going to put Indiana in. That's just how they do it. Great to see the Tigers commit to rushing the ball. No doubt, man. And that's a big hat tip to Brian Kelly. I mean, it's very obvious the last 2 games you have seen more of a balance, a run-pass balance, since Brian Kelly has gotten involved in the offense. And I agree with you. It's a good thing. Like, committing to running the football has allowed you to run the football better instead of saying, oh, man, we have to run it here on 3rd and 1. Hope we can. Go this way. Let's see. As soon as I finish morning scone, I will get us caught up. Period. Then going to church. Period. I'll catch everything else when I get home. A little after lunch. Period. Cool. That's our LouisianaSports.net chat. I'll tell you what's coming up today. Let's see. Ross Jackson has film analysis from the opening drive against the Browns. 3 Saints staffers named as future head coaches by NFL Network. Saints playoff chances. Ben Johnson quote, what he's looking for in a future head coach. We'll have PFF QB rankings from the SEC. We'll have Hunt Palmer's PFF grades from LSU and Vanderbilt. So a lot of stuff today over at LouisianaSports.net. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there. Thomas, I hope you're still listening. Here you go, Thomas. This is for you. This is for you, Thomas. So I don't forget.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, you need a roof, give us a shout. Parish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedics, go to Brock, the Baton Rouge Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Remember, all of our great sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube and tagged on Facebook. Pierce had to watch the game on mobile while at work. I don't remember getting a clean view of the 4th and 9 pickup off the fake punt. It never looked like he actually got there. He got there. It was a good call. Donovan, by the way, that's one big mess up. Donovan, is there a path for a 3-loss SEC team to make it to Atlanta? No. The Atlanta will either be Georgia, Michael, good morning, Georgia, Texas A&M, Texas, I think now Georgia. Oh, I threw away my percentages. Gosh, dog it. I think Georgia may be in now. I need to go check my percentages. I think Georgia may be in, and then the winner of Texas A&M will play Georgia. Go this way. I think that's how it goes. I think Georgia's unless if somebody knows definitively, please tell me. I am 30 minutes behind on comments. What time is it? 10:30. Okay. I think Georgia is in. I forgot. Like I had all that written out last week. I did all that legwork before last week's games, and I threw it away because when LSU lost, I was like, well, I don't need this anymore. And I just can't. I think it was okay, baby. Your belly is leaking like crazy. Ooh, what is going on there? I don't love to see that. All right. All right. There we go. Okay, so Georgia's in. So Georgia's in at 6-2. If Texas beats A&M, they're in. It would be Texas Georgia rematch, which was my prediction for the season. One of my predictions was Texas and Georgia would play 3 times. They'd play in the regular season, SEC championship, and then again in the playoff. I don't think there's a. Yeah, so I think if A&M beats Texas, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Georgia's in, and then the winner would play the winner of Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken. If someone knows differently, tell me. Is that it? Okay, Georgia, got it. Okay, that's it. Yes. Yeah, okay, you're also, okay, yes, I thought so. I thought I remembered that correctly. So Georgia is now in. Georgia's in. They'll play the winner of Texas A&M. Okay, thank you all very much. I was pretty sure I remembered it that way, but I was second guessing myself a little bit. Okay, thank you. All right, let me see if I can kind of scroll down here. Get to some of y'all. Let's see. Let me just jump back in somewhere here in the middle. Palermo, LSU fan here. Hope Ohio State, Oregon play for the title. To heck with the SEC. Pete, good morning. How do you think about all the upsets? I love it. I am not a cheer for the SEC guy. I want all those teams out. I don't want Ole Miss making the playoff. I don't want A&M making the playoff. I don't want Bama making the playoff. I want them all out. So, and by the way, it's one of the things, like, y'all, if we go back to the summer, and we will go back and talk about like predictions we got right, predictions we got wrong, all that sort of stuff. But one of the things that I consistently said when everyone was like, oh, the SEC is going to get minimum 4, maybe 5, 6 teams in, who knows? I was like, y'all better be careful. Y'all remember, I went back and looked over 10 years of playoff rankings, and there would have been only 3 years that the SEC would have gotten more than 3 teams in. And in 2 years, they would have gotten 1 team in a 12-team playoff. In 14 and 15, Bama would have been the only team in. So we act like this assumption, like the SEC is always going to get 5, 6. I mean, you're going to get the SEC champion, maybe the SEC championship game loser if it's 1-loss Texas. And then I think a team like Tennessee at 10-2 could be in. But I think you're talking about 3 teams, man. I think if Texas beats A&M, then A&M's out. Well, I think A&M's out already. They got 3 losses. The only way in for A&M would be if they beat Texas and then go win the SEC championship game. But that's it. So, I mean, you're talking about Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, and A&M. Those 4 are the only ones that have a shot. And if Texas beats A&M, they're out. So then you're just talking about Texas, Georgia, Tennessee would be your only 3 teams, which is what I said. Anyway. Mark, who will be G5 college football playoff team, Boise or Tulane? Yeah, it'll be Boise. I mean, if Boise wins out, they'll be the highest ranked. G5 conference champion. So they'd be in. Merrick, what time's kickoff? 6:30. Air Tech, what's going on? Deputy, let's see. Good morning, Scone. A&M losing in quadruple overtime does lift the sting of a 7 overtime loss to them. You think Auburn makes cups? I don't think Auburn's going to make cups. Milton, morning, Matt. Missed a couple of games this season. You were so right about those ugly gold jerseys. They got a dub in them, so whatever. Level up, man. Let's see. I love Bama's burning. I would really like SEC burning his segment one day. Yeah, I don't really need that in my life. I just need Bama to keep losing. Trivia, what's up? Rick, you're right. That's like saying, other than the shooting incident, it was quite the wedding. I don't know what we're talking about there. I think the saying that maybe is a little more appropriate is, aside from that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? Mrs. Lincoln? That's the old saying. Like, it's the only thing that matters, sort of thing. Richie, Kelly's still making the same coaching mistakes, taking the ball to start the game. He didn't take the ball to start the game. Vanderbilt won the toss and deferred. So LSU didn't take the ball to start the game. I agree with you on not kicking the field goal. The one really big mistake was LSU took a timeout before on Vanderbilt's first possession of the second half. Vanderbilt lined up to go for it on 4th and 4. LSU only had 10 men on the field. So LSU called timeout. Out of the timeout, Vanderbilt came and kicked a 47-yard field goal. That's one where I go, guys, this is game 11. 10 men on the field on a 4th down play. Like, that's where I'm going, Let's see. Gulf South, only time I wanted another SEC team to win was 2014, maybe when Bama played Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl, and Bob Stoops was talking trash to the SEC. Bama lost. They lost big in that game, too. I remember that. No, Bama lost to Ohio State. The 14 season, Bama lost to Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl. That was Cardell Jones, and Ohio State went on and played Oregon for the national championship and beat them. Was it 13, maybe the year before or year after? Maybe it was the year after. Maybe it was 15. Carvis, good morning. Taz, Will Harrell is Ohio State's backup. I'll say anything we can get. Got it. I don't know. I do believe that LSU is going to go get a quarterback out of the portal. You can't go a year without adding a quarterback. And so I do think you want Nussmeier back. But I think the caliber of quarterback you go try to get out of the portal very much depends on if Nussmeier returns. If Nussmeier leaves, you're looking for a guy with starting experience. If he stays, you're looking at maybe a younger player. It's the portal who can build your depth. Richie, analytics is a convenient excuse for bad coaching decisions. No analytics support not taking the lead. I don't know, man. Like, you see the thing on graphic, like they put on the screen now. Sometimes they do say the analytics suggest go for it and stuff like that. But I'm with you. In that situation, it's a tie ball game. Take the lead when LSU passed on the field goal. I thought so. 10-1 in the regular season, lost to Georgia, blew out Miami in the Peach Bowl. Now, I remember how it went. I just couldn't remember if we're talking about 05. The regular season was a 11 or 12 game regular season. Didn't an 05 game get canceled? Maybe so. Maybe that's what happened. I can't remember what year college football went to 12. I know they played 12 in 2002, but I don't think that was the year they switched. I know that wasn't because in 03 they played 11. No, they were 13-1 in 03. So they played 12, the SEC championship game, and then the national, so to go 13-4. So maybe it was 02 is when they switched to 12 games. Go this way. All right. Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel. Bama is burning Carl the Cat. In fact, they are. 92 plays, 16 points. That's yes. Talking about Florida. So I know we're jumping around a little bit here, but that's the thing that really stinks. You ran 92 plays and scored 16 points. If you had found a way to win that game against Florida, a game you dominated, you would be in line. Just needed to beat Oklahoma to go to the SEC championship game. Take your swing at Georgia or Texas. And well, I guess it would have been Texas. No, I guess it could have been Georgia or Texas. Bummer. Scone, do you see Brian Kelly getting fired soon? No, or maybe Texas A&M, right? Depending on the result of that game. But if you had beaten Florida, a game where you ran 92 plays and scored 16 points, all you would have to do is beat Oklahoma this weekend, and you'd be going to the SEC championship game with a chance to play yourself into the playoff. Go this way. You think Kyron Lacey will take advantage of the COVID year, come back for another year? Hadn't thought about it. No, I don't. Oh my God. Are y'all hearing those chimes? Come on, Scone. Tell me what you think about the O-line. Looks so much better. Mabenga playing better, or Vandy being a lesser D-line than we have been facing. Talk to me. Paul Mabenga played better. T-Bob talked about that last night on Whiskey and Wine, which was great to see. He got really roughed up against Florida. There's no other way to say it, y'all. I mean, he gave up. You saw they put the stat on the graphic last night. Mabenga gave up 9 pressures and 3 sacks against Florida. I mean, that is a humbling day when you have to go watch game film and see that with your teammates there. And it was bad. It was very bad. But to his credit, he stepped up and played a much better day. Now, next week against Oklahoma, the challenge ratchets up dramatically. Like you saw Oklahoma last night against Alabama. They are a very good defensive front. Oklahoma's defensive front is more in line with Ole Miss and Texas A&M. Like, they're very good in their defensive front. So that's going to be a real challenge. So LSU is going to have to stay balanced, and you'd love to get Dellinger back next week. We'll see if he can. And I don't know if he will, but for a guy like Garrett Dellinger who's played so much football at LSU, that's his last opportunity to play in Tiger Stadium. My guess is he's going to try to give it a go in some capacity. We'll see if he's able, but here's hoping. Brian, will LSU have new offensive coordinator next year? I don't know, Brian. I would hate to speculate there and have you think that I know something, but just very candidly, I don't know. I don't know if they will. Go this way. I think Brian Kelly, I don't think it's any secret that he would like to have Tommy Rees on staff. Go this way. And that's not some great breaking news or anything like that. I mean, Tommy Rees played at Notre Dame. Go this way. Was Kelly's OC at Notre Dame. Kelly tried to get Rees to be his OC here. Rees stayed at Notre Dame. After 1 year there, took the Alabama OC job. And now when Saban retired, Rees this year is like the tight ends coach with the Cleveland Browns. So I don't think there's any secret that Kelly would like to bring Tommy Rees to his staff. I don't know what that means for Joe Sloan. Sloan, I think, has been a very good quarterbacks coach and deserves a lot. You can have disappointment with play calling and stuff this year, which a lot of people have expressed. You've got to give Joe Sloan credit for quarterback development. He is a quarterback coach that helped develop Jaden Daniels. He's a quarterback coach that helped develop Garrett Nussmeier. And Nussmeier, by the way, is going to finish the season as the 3rd leading passer in LSU history, behind only Burrow and Daniels. And he might pass Jaden Daniels, depending on what he does this week against Oklahoma and in a bowl game. Like, he could end up having the 2nd greatest passing season in LSU history. Like, Sloan deserves credit for that. You can't, like, 2 things can be true. Like, you can be disappointed with play call and all things a lot of fans have expressed, and you can also give him credit for the quarterback development. So, So I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. If when I do learn something, I'll certainly share it. I don't know. What I am comfortable saying, and I don't think it's like any great revelation, is that Brian Kelly wants Tommy Reese on his staff. So if there's a way to do that, I think they will. Luke said, we can't talk about Alabama when we're just as bad. Yes, we can, Luke. That's always been my point. My point about Bama has never been in correlation to LSU. My point about Bama has always been about anyone but Bama. It's laughing at them because for 17 years, they shoved everyone's nose in how great they were. And they're not great anymore. And I'm going to remind them of how not great they are every opportunity I get, regardless of what happens with LSU. Don't take your eye off the ball. That has always been my point with Bama is burning. It has never been about LSU. It is always been. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell Moose tomorrow, his whole job tomorrow. Mooso's whole job tomorrow is to go back through every Bama is burning and pull out every example in every Bama is burning where I very plainly said, it's not about LSU. It's about anyone but you. Because I've said it over and over and over and over and over again. How many times I've said, you're not going to be awful. You're just not going to be invincible anymore. Because I say it in every single one. I'm sure to say it in every single one. Go this way. So, yes, we can absolutely laugh at Alabama. We can absolutely rub their nose in their failure. We can absolutely point at them and laugh at the fact that they went on the road and lost to a 5-5 team, lost by 3 touchdowns in a game where their opponent threw for 68 yards, a game where Jalen Milroe threw for no touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Yes, Luke, we can laugh at them, and I will. We can laugh at them for losing to Vanderbilt. LSU beat Vanderbilt. How about that, Luke? Air Tech. Let's hear you play the Paris jingle on your guitar. I can't play it on my guitar. I've never learned it. Let's see. BK should have been involved in play calling all year. There's no excuse to ban the run like we've done all season. Part of me is proud of the effort. The other part is not. Frosty, why are you leaking? I don't like to see that at all. If Clemson beats South Carolina, they're 10-2. They might sneak in at the 12th spot. I know that game is in Clemson. I really think South Carolina is going to have their way with Clemson. Clemson's not very good. When Clemson has actually had to play real teams, they have gotten waxed. They got waxed by Georgia. They got waxed on their home field by Louisville. I think South Carolina is flat better than Clemson. I fell into that trap because Clemson got waxed by Georgia and then they won like 6 in a row and they went to play Louisville. I'm like, oh, poor Clemson. Look, they just had to play Georgia. And everybody thought they stunk. No, Georgia's really good. And then they went and played Louisville, and Louisville wiped the floor with Clemson. And now Clemson's gone on the streak again, playing nobody, and they're going to go play South Carolina, who is good. And I think South Carolina is going to own Clemson. I'll make that prediction right now. I don't have to wait till Friday. Let's see. Connor O'Neill, my fiance, wanted to thank you because I say go this way like 30 times a day. Your fiance hears it 30 times a day. I hear it 3,000 times a day. And here he comes. I can't imagine what he's going to say. Nope. Oh, he left. Texas 7.5-point favorite. Mike, morning Scone from Jersey. Had whiskey on TV last night. Every woman howled when the shirt popped off last night. I had my 40 to 35. I had a feeling that I might have the opportunity to flex that shirt. So 929 Misfits. If y'all want to join me in the 40-35 club, I'll put the shirt in the chat. So y'all should go check out 929 Misfits anyway. But got a bunch of the Nuss Bus shirts, the Merry Rismus, Fear the Wit, Omar the Tiger. There's some that I can't really read here on Morning Scone. Here it is. Here's 40-35. Go this way. It's very simple. It's the final score of the Bama Vanderbilt game when Vandy beat Bama. It just says 40-35 on it. So I had that on last night because I had the feeling on Whiskey and Wine. I just had a feeling yesterday, go this way, that I was going to have the opportunity to dunk on Bama. So I figured what better way to do it than with the 40 to remind them that they lost to Vanderbilt and on a day where their season came to an end. So, yeah. So I had a sweatshirt on. I had my home field apparel hoodie on, and I took that off during the show and had my 40-35 shirt on. Can LSU stop the alternate uniforms? The two-tone sleeve on Kelly's hoodie was awful. And I've spoken my piece on the uniforms. All right, y'all. I think let's see. I got to get going, y'all. I got to get going because I got to get to church for 11:30. So let me bounce. My apologies if I miss you. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Let me look at some of these. This is a good one from Trivia. Said, do you think Oklahoma will become a natural rival? I hope so, Trivia. I've asked a lot of people around that cover Oklahoma that they're excited about coming here to play LSU and play in Tiger Stadium and all that stuff. I think that's something that would have to happen. Like with what's happened with A&M, you have to be playing meaningful games. And if you're playing meaningful games, then I think a natural rivalry will brew. That's kind of what has to happen there. LSU and Oklahoma have to be playing meaningful games at the end of the season. But I am excited about that. I like far more than I am about playing Arkansas. The A&M thing I think was cool, but A&M always had eyes for Texas. And when Texas came into the league, it was obvious that was going to happen. So anyway, all right. Y'all have an awesome day. Please smash the like button. Remember, all of our sponsors, they're linked in the description on YouTube. They're tagged on Facebook. So please support our great sponsors. And y'all have an awesome Sunday. Go Tigers.